What's up, family? I'm back with the next video, and this time I'm reacting to a content creator's statement that he made. His name is Army Osei Frimpong, and he's saying men are better parents than women. Now, I want everybody to check out this comment that someone left on the video, and I'll let you all hear the audio of why he explained it as well. This is what they're saying. I'm highlighting it in blue for you. So this is the one I want you guys to focus on here, by Golden Child. And Golden Child says, Army, you dare to say that gendered males are better parents than women? You're going to get a lot of blowback from the sisterhood. I agree with your analysis that no-fault divorce is a problem. However, in certain communities here in America, women are getting with men and having their children because he's tall, cute, and has swag, charisma. I don't know if you all agree with that, yes or no. Very little focus is put into whether or not the man would actually be a good father. Do you all agree with that? To those children, to these children. When most of it, and most of what brings these people together are superficial things, okay? Material things on the outside. In the black community, I'm going to focus there. This is pretty much what goes on, and what Golden Child observes is this sort of monkey branching. So you're going from this option to what you feel is the next best option, from person to person with children from other relationships. And so that's a big statement. That's a comment, and says in a row, with person to person with children from other relationships in tow. Sorry, I read that wrong. And so, that's a big statement, and that's the one I really wanted to pinpoint on from Golden Child. Now, the content creator is Army Osei Frimpong, and I want you to let him hear his explanation of why he says men are better parents than women. That's his channel down there if you want to subscribe to him. Fair Use YouTube. Here's what he said, ladies and gentlemen.
I think my anecdotal experience, of course, but my friends who are single dads all have amazing kids, and my single mom's friends' kids, not so much. I'm like, look, man, we can have that conversation. I think there's a reason for that. I think the way we acculturate men in America actually makes them.
So let's just stop it right there. He said all of his men friends from his experience are better parents, and his lady friends that are parents, that are mothers, not so much. So how many of you listening to this have stories? Are they similar? Even the ladies out here, do you have guy friends who are better fathers than your lady friends who are mothers? Guys, same question to you. Are you with Army on this? Do you have guy friends who are better parents than your lady friends who are parents? Let's continue.
Better parents. They're less entitled in some way, but like also more strict in other ways. And the way we enculturate women in America might actually make them better corporate drones, because like they take orders, baby, like better. So like it's not obvious. Late modernity is not obvious. And so I just think that like it's an interesting conversation we could have. And by the way, the data on single fathers is always going to be a little bit skewed, because single fathers might have access to more money. Plus, they also know remarried fathers know that like it behooves them to might find a partner to raise a kid. So like they might just be making better decisions in general. It's also problem solving, strategy, intellectual endurance. I think that's in the family. But like, look, I take family life very seriously as like a very important puzzle. That like other people don't. Like my wife gets it, but a lot of her, like almost all of her friends don't. Like liberal white women are horrible parents, in my estimation.
And so you all can watch the rest of that video on his channel, and he gave his explanation of why he feels the guys are better parents than the ladies. Maybe it's for discipline reasons, disciplinary structure, things like that. And so, what do you guys think? Are women the better parents, or are men the better parents? When it just comes down to it being a separate situation, and let's say one parent has to go, mom has to go, will the children be raised better under dad? Or dad has to go, will the children be raised better under mom? Obviously, in the ideal situation, you want both, the masculine and that feminine energy, because they both bring in 23 chromosomes that make up the child, 23 from mom, 23 from dad, the personality, the traits, all of that. And that's what you want, the nuclear family. You got mom and dad under one roof. That's the best scenario, at least it should be. But from what Army is saying, okay, now we're splitting that up, and you can only pick one parent to raise the children. He's picking dad. So how do you all feel about that? Those who have been raised, do you all feel your dad did a better job with you than your mom? Or do you feel mom did a better job with me than dad? Was mom a better dad? Are you in the boat of a person whose mom just wasn't there and it was only dad? Or dad just wasn't around and it was only mom? Is this a big statement, to say that men are better parents than women? I've heard it before on other YouTube channels. Now, being transparent, I'm not a father, only an uncle. So I'm not able to just say, hey, look, I'm a dad too, and I do, And some dads might feel differently, like, hey, no, me and the mother of my kids, we both doing equally great job. I don't think I do better. And then you may have some mothers out here and fathers out here who feel, they go above and beyond, whereas they feel the other parent just sits on the couch and does limited activities with the children. Because I think in this space where you have the co-parenting going on, well, it doesn't even have to be co-parenting. You all can still be together and still under the same roof. But when one parent's away doing something, you get the chance to talk to the children, and they may say, well, when you're out doing this or working out or whatever, mom, dad was at home watching us, but he doesn't really engage us like you do, or vice versa. When dad's out playing sports and they at home with mom doesn't read to them or really give them attention like dad does. Sometimes, children at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, they'll disclose that to maybe the other parent about just the different parenting styles. And I guess that's something both mom and dad, if they still together, can talk about, so they can all get on the same page when it comes to raising. Now, you end the relationship and now it's just straight co-parenting. That becomes, that's something they can still talk about. It becomes a little harder, maybe a little bit uneasy, because now you got the children come at mom's home, and then the rules are different at dad's home, and you got One parent probably saying, don't tell me how to run things in my house, And so the children are kind of going on this little back and forth because the rules are so different under each household, and then they have to be deprogrammed, for lack of a better word, when they go back to the parent that they actually live with. And normally in this case it's mom, and they go see dad every other weekend. But then you got this cases where dad is the main parent as well. I know a guy, he's got custody of both of his sons. So, you had those situations. It's still majority women. But still, even with we know that being the case, and usually the children are living with mom and then go see dad, Army is saying the dads are the better parents in general. And he said he's speaking from his own anecdotal experience, so we have to give him that. But what do you all think? And to the fathers listening, do you think you're better parent than the mothers of your children? To the mothers that are listening, do you think you are a better parent than the father of your children, and why? What are they missing, or what would you like? Because I think it's important based on how you all want this child to look once the child becomes an adult. The child is growing. Mom and dad are growing the child. And, you planting the seeds, you're watering, you're having conversations. And in order for this child to sprout up and look right, mom and dad have to be really bringing their best from both sides to get their child to where they need to be in adulthood. And so if one parent is doing better than the other, do they need to talk to the other parent and try and see where room for improvement could be? What is it that you don't like? How can that be a balance? It definitely can be a touchy subject. But I guess it's one that has to be had, because like I said, I've heard other people say it before that men are better parents than women. And so it's a big statement. The mothers are the nurturers, and they make sure that the child is okay and comforted, and they have food. But then you have the other argument for the men saying they better prepare the child for reality and telling them that you can be told no, and that you're not put on a pedestal, and that more discipline, more structure. If you're going to have to choose between the two, since you can't get both, people are saying that method that men use as fathers is better than what women use as mothers. So again, you want both of you all to be under the same household. That's ideal. But we're talking hypothetically here. You all didn't work out. A lot of relationships don't work out. And dad's going to get primary custody, or mom. And we're trying to see under which one will the children turn out better. Just at 18. We're not going to go past that. They're on their own at that point. Not to say that you leave your children be at 18, but we're just going to go with upbringing. We're going to go 1 through 17, birth through 17, and just see everything that's the parent who has them is going to do to shape them. So once they hit 18, you'll see what the last 18 years have amounted to. Your conversations, your possible neglect, all of that. It all snowballs into one human adult at 18. From everything, and letting them stay up too late, letting them eat too much, letting them stay outside too late, not checking their homework, not checking them, not spending time with them. You see all of that. And what Army is saying is that throughout that time, if You can only pick one parent. Who do you pick? To everybody listening, if you can only pick one parent, who do you pick to raise you? You can only have one. Who are you going with? That's going to be your team. You picking mom or dad. So, and you can look back at all of the instances of your life and when they were there and when you were in trouble. Who do you think best gave you the advice you needed that could really keep you moving on and that could help you circumvent that so you don't go through that again, or if you do see it again, this is how the best way to handle it. Which parent gave you the best advice, mom or dad? Who would you pick? You can only have one. Army's going with the men as the better fathers to prepare children for this crazy world. I know we want the two, and yeah, in real life you can have the two. But in real life, you also have this situation where it's cut in half. And that's where we get Army's statement from. And so, let me know down in the comments what you all think about who's the better parent. Is it mom? Is it dad? Why? I know you also had an argument about women can't raise a boy to be a man. And I don't hear this too much, then I guess then dad can't raise a girl to be a woman either. But even despite all of that, you have Army saying that men is still the better choice with that daughter. Obviously, the son, you can raise him to be a man versus you leaving him with mom. And now she can't raise him to be a man. And then whatever she can raise a daughter to be a woman, but there's still feeling things might be missing that you would get if they were only left with dad versus only being left with mom. So, like I say, with the whole co-parenting thing, if that's what the parents listening to this are doing, try and make that work. Ideally, you want both. And yeah, certain things may have to be a readjustment when they get back home to mom after being at dad's. I think you all may, so the child isn't confused in terms of rules and what time they can stay up. That's something that should be consistent in both of you all's households, so the children don't feel like, hey, when I'm at dad's house, we can do this, things like that. Those are just some housekeeping items that I guess you can do as a parent. But anyway, going back to the main, can dads be the better parent than the mom? I don't know. I'm gonna play it one more time before I get out of here, just so you all can kind of download it once more and process it. Here we go.
Your hands, and the person won't obey you, and the person won't cuddle you. Like fathers are good at that kind of stuff, and that's a lot more parenting now in the late modern society. And so I think my anecdotal experience, of course, but my friends who are single dads all have amazing kids, and my single mom's friends' kids, not so much. I'm like, look, man, we can have that conversation. I think there's a reason for that. I think the way we acculturate men in America actually makes them better parents. They're less entitled in some way, but also more strict in other ways. And the way we enculturate women in America might actually make them better corporate drones because they take orders, baby, better. So it's not obvious. Late modernity is not obvious. And yeah, so I just think it's an interesting conversation we could have. And by the way, the data on single fathers is always going to be a little bit skewed because single fathers might have access to more money. Plus, they also know remarried fathers know that it behooves them to might find a partner to raise a kid. So like they might just be making better decisions in general.
So there you have it one last time. He said the women take orders better, which makes them better suited to work for someone else in corporate America. And then he says the men are less entitled. And so the men, I guess, feel have. From that, I take that he said the men have to work for it more. You know, they don't get the same breaks as the women. And I guess that's something that can be pushed into the children. So I just wanted to play it one last time. He said, let's have a conversation. And I think this is one of the more less talked about statements about who's the better parent in this gender war that we have to stop. But in order to stop it, we can't point fingers. If someone is making a statement that mothers are better parents or fathers are better parents, then we need to see where they can meet in the middle of what that man is good at as dad and what that woman is good at as mom, and pour that into the future, which is the children, and go from there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you feel you're the better parent? If you are a parent, which of your parents were better, growing up to you? Just be honest, open and honest. No one's judging anybody. Put it down in the comments. Which is the better parent, men or women? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And the channel, put it in the YouTube search. It is Facts or Feelings, all one word, no spaces. That's Facts or Feelings, and my channel comes right up. And here's that quote again from Golden Child, if you all want to reread that. And Golden Child's response to the content creator. Again, his name is Army Osei Frimpong. If you all want to check out his channel. And, he has some good information as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to react to his statement on that in the video. And that's about it. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.